Hey, everybody, this is Patty. Welcome to the Witching Hour. I am so glad I am bringing back one of my favorite guests. You may remember her. She is a coach for amazing people. She is an author. She is a witch. The one and only Pamela Chen. Welcome, Pamela. Thanks for coming back on.
Hi, Patty. Hi, everyone. So excited to be on.
Yeah, so if anybody didn't see or just doesn't know who you are, you work in a lot. You have a book on wealth out, which we talk about in magic. Is that good or isn't it bad and all those silly things. So let's talk about that wealth book a little bit. Then we're going to get into some of your new stuff and your new tarot deck and stuff like that. Because it's a new year. It's beginning of January, it's a new year. We've had some kind of crazy stuff. A lot of people are living in lack and fear, as it seems to me, observing. So, what is your thoughts on what we can do in this new year to have abundance or wealth or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to have an intention for the year and maybe not just the year, but I like to go beyond that. So for our clients, we actually tell them to create a 10-year goal because a lot of things can happen in 10 year. So our ego or our brain won't be up against it. So you can go as big as you want because so many things can happen in 10 years and there's so much growth. And so I would definitely have your 10-year plan. I know you hear about this, maybe if you're in corporate or in the real world, but I do think we also need to have a 10-year plan. And then you can kind of break it down from there. I like to have a 1 year, more of a dream, and it doesn't have to be a plan, but just like expand into what you desire, what you love, and make sure that 50% of it is for yourself. I know that a lot of, especially your audience and, the magical community, they're very heart centered. So they like to help people, right? And so they'll be like, okay, I want to help my family. I want to help my kids retire my significant other, or I want to donate to animal shelters. And they forget about themselves. That's actually what's going to drive us, drive our ego. It's still a part of us. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ego. It's not a bad thing, but it is there. And so we don't want to block ourselves because the only block we have is really our mind and our beliefs. And so if you can have something for yourself, and if money is still a little bit weird for you, you can you can think of experiences you want to experience. So for example, do you want to travel somewhere? Is there a certain thing you want to receive or buy that would make you really happy? Go to the spa, travel first class. It could be anything really expansive. Or maybe the book and the deck that you saw in the store. It could be anything big or small. And I would just make a list. And so once you have that, then you have something that motivates you to take action and get that wealth, right?
Yeah, I love it. And it's interesting because I'm like that too. Some people have such weird thoughts about money, and yes, we're working on it. So I say, okay, it's $500 for a new computer. Then just create the new computer, see the new computer. So I like what you said. So many people don't do that. So then you'll get it. So do you have people like do vision boards or put the list in front of them? Or do you have any ritualistic or regular things to remind us of these things we're creating?
Yes. So I actually don't do a lot of vision boards. I do it on my phone. So I'll go to like Canva and I'll create like maybe a 6 pack. And then I'll put 6 things that I am manifesting in there and I'll put it as my wallpaper. So I'm unconsciously looking at it because a vision board, if you don't look at it, it doesn't work, right? It's not just this thing you collage and then you leave it there. And so I have it on my phone. Something that's actually in Wealth Witchery, the book, is wealth scripting. So what I do and a lot of my clients do is we write as if we have already received the thing, and I write every single day. So you can start with, I am so happy and grateful for that I already have. And then you just write like if you have it already and you really get into the feeling. So we're not pretending, okay? We're really feeling it and I get really happy. I get really happy writing it. I already had this, this much people signed up for our program. I got to do this, and you just write it all down. You can write as much as you like. I usually like to fill a whole page. Some people do 2 pages, some people just do like 5 sentences. It's totally up to you.
Oh my gosh, you just had a light bulb go off in me because I have a crazy woofy goofy house. I made a vision board this year. It's like, well, this is so ugly. I don't want this up in my office. I don't want the it's like I'm not that artsy craftsy, even though this is what I'm creating. I'm gonna just take a picture of it and put it on my phone, put it on my iPad, put it on my laptop. How brilliant. Why I never thought of that. Thank you. You are brilliant, Pamela.
Yeah, that's no, that's an amazing idea too if you're more crafty at first and, you're not techie. Some people don't even know how to use tech Canva, And so you can create it, take a picture, put it on your phone. I think that's beautiful.
Right. Well, I'm not crafty or techie, so I just have to struggle through both. But just the idea of having it, because my phone is in my hand 24 hours a day, practically, good,
Yeah.
bad, or different. And it's right there. If I see these things that I'm manifesting, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I, um, that is,
Yeah, you can also put your passwords because you're using your password all the time. And so you can choose a password that reflects your intention or, the money that you want to manifest.
I love that. Thank you. Oh, you're good. So yeah, you guys check this out because again, we in the magical community get so many weird ideas about wealth and money and it's just to me it's just an energy source.
Yeah.
It's
I think it makes sense though, because probably in a lot of our past lives, since we're witches now, in our past lives, we were probably a witch in the past. And we couldn't sell our gifts or make money from our gifts because we would get condemned. Right. And it was like a secret thing. And so a lot of our entrepreneur who clients who come to us, they are magical. They are witches also and they're scared to charge for their gifts because they think it's a bad thing or they're going to lose it or something's going to happen. And so I think we're in 2024, 2025 soon. And yeah, it's a whole new era and it's a whole new cycle. And so we can really break free of that, what we call witch womb, right? We can really break free of that karma and really claim a wealthy witch.
yeah, I love that. And again, and witches are so popular now between Wicked and middle fastest growing belief religion and belief system. So we're cool again. So you have a new tarot deck out, correct?
Yes, I also have, Steampunk Fairy Tarot that just came out. Yeah.
Beautiful. What a nice combination of steampunk and fairy. Because you also have an owl deck. You have so how did this become? Are you like a is tarot one of your your main gifts that you do?
Yeah.
I can't imagine creating a tarot deck.
So, the funny thing is when I started I guess you could say when I started being interested in magic, I was maybe 16 or 17, and actually my, first book that I got was To Ride a Silver Broomstick, from, Silver Ravenwolf, and she did the forward in Wealth Witchery for me. So
That's cute.
yeah, so it's like a whole I actually teared when she said yes. But, back then, I really wanted to learn tarot, but it was really hard. There was no online thing, and it was hard to just read from a book, and I think I gave up on it. And I came back in my 20s after I think I learned, like, some psychic development stuff, intuition, and Reiki, and then I started learning tarot, and I was beginning to understand it. And I've always wanted to create a deck for some reason. And one time I tried, there was only like 23 cards. It wasn't even a deck. And that didn't go too well. And then it was like a few years later, one of my tarot mentors at that time, she got published with Llewellyn. And so she helped me create my self-published deck, which is Crystal Unicorn Tarot. And basically it was just me wanting a unicorn tarot. There was no unicorn tarot out there. And I'm like, let me create this. And she's like, you should sell this. And I'm like, I guess. And so I did like a Kickstarter, a crowdfunding thing. It went so well, like globally, like Japan ordered from me and then, from there, I was like, "Wow, I really wanna do this." But I was afraid, "How am I going to create another deck? Will I have another idea?" Right? And the second deck just came really easily, and luckily, Llewellyn took it. They were like, "Yes, we'll publish this," and so I got really lucky there.
That's beautiful. Now you write the words, you write the meanings behind it, and these are traditional tarot decks, right? Not like oracle decks. You work off the tarot, the major and minor arcana and stuff. So, and you work with an artist.
Yes,
How much do you guys communicate? Because I mean, your decks are beautiful. They're really
thank
beautiful,
you.
and again, they match up nicely. So, are you guys kind of in tandem doing it, or is she doing her thing and you're doing your thing?
Yeah, so to submit a proposal to a publisher, I actually have to write out the 78 card descriptions. So I have to describe what every card looks like in the world. So basically creating the deck, right? The owl was really cool because that only took me 3 days to like channel everything. That one came really fast. And, Elizabeth Alba is the artist. She also did Everyday Witch Tarot, for the owl, and she communicated with me a lot, but I trusted her because she's just such an amazing artist, and she just everything that she created, I was like, "Wow, that's so cool. How did you think of that?" And she's like, "You wrote it in the description." I was like, "I did?" But it was really cool to see what you write come to life, you know? Ashley Cassidy is the artist for Punk Fairy Tarot, and she is an amazing artist also. She's really into detail, so when you get the deck, there's, like, the buckles, the buttons, like, everything, it's gorgeous, and we had a little fun with it. So she's really into K-pop, Korean pop, BTS, and so am I. So she actually drew a likeness of one of the BTS members in the card. So, yeah, I like to make friends with my artists to, it's easier when they can come to me and then they get the full view or idea and then they can create and we can submit.
I think that's beautiful because, like, your owl deck, she does a different kind of an owl, or you used a different kind of an owl for each of the suits,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yes.
clever, that's so cute.
Yeah. I felt, I was, like, feeling into the owls, and I just, like, felt which owl breed, I guess you could call or, they archetype would really match the suit. So, there were different ones, and I think that's how I like to create. So, even with the steampunk fairy, each suit is a different type of fairy. So the swords is like the sprite, very airy and light. And then the salamanders are the wands because they're really adventurous, they're fire. And the cups are silky because they work with the water, the seals. And what am I missing? The pentacles are gnomes because they
Mm,
dig, they work with the earth and
sure.
magic. Yeah. So I like to do that for my decks.
I think that's fabulous. Again, to me, that 78 card seems overwhelming to me. To me, it's like, no,
Yeah.
but I can't do a tarot deck.
No, you know what? It's easier creating a deck than writing a book. A book is a lot yeah, and the guidebook is only 25,000 words, so it's like 25% of what you're writing a book too. So it's a lot easier and it's really fast. I think once you create and Patty, you should definitely create a deck. Yeah.
Let's see about that. And I won't put that on my phone vision board for this year. Maybe next.
And I think it's the same thing as a book. You just have to find what do you think the readers want, right? What is missing out there and what do you think the readers want? I really wanted a unicorn deck, so I created it for myself, but it did really well.
Yeah, no, I think it's beautiful. Maybe the way I read, because I read, there's the by the book that this means this, the Queen of Pentacles, and this, and then there's the intuitive reading that you create. But um, I have dozens of decks, and I use kind of one. Okay, how am I going to translate the meaning of tarot or my meaning of tarot into unicorns versus fairies versus?
Right.
So good for you. No,
Thank you. I'm like you, I have a lot of decks. I stopped buying a lot of decks because I have my decks and I have to use them to promote.
you have to use your that. Yeah, no, and I use one that's so out of print, and it's a little dated, but I just love it, and I go, "No, I'm gonna replace it with this deck." No, I don't. I go back to that. There's just that you have that thing. Yeah. So if somebody was like you, because I was overwhelmed with tarot at first as well.
Yeah.
So I teach like some really simple stuff. So if somebody's going, okay, I want to get into this, I want to learn tarot. I'm gonna go get myself a unicorn deck or a fairy deck. How would you suggest somebody gets into to start?
Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of people ask me, I want to learn tarot because that is a good entry into
Good.
Buddhism
Yeah. So
versus being
first,
overwhelmed by the book.
right, that makes sense. I would definitely pick a deck that is so all my decks are clone Rider-Waite-Smith decks. What that means is the Rider-Waite-Smith is the original, you probably have that.
Mhm.
And so it's so every all of the artwork is could be reflective of that. But maybe, it's an owl instead of a person. But it's
Right.
really easy to read. So when you pick up a clone deck, you literally have the same system as a regular one. So first I would and if you don't know, usually, when you're purchasing it, it'll say clone deck or something, same as Right
Mhm.
Away Smith. So you can look for that and make sure the artwork is something you connect with, right? Because we have to love what we're using. And then I would just look through the deck and look at the colors. I think the colors are very important, at least in my deck. So, in the wands, because it is fire and a lot of energy, there's a lot of reds and orange, and so you can feel, and then the cups are really watery emotion. So I have a lot of pink and blue. Yeah, I'll show. So you can kind of see the salamander has the pack of fiery wands, right? And it's orange. And then you can see here, which is a little sad, 5 of cups, but the silky has it's a little bit darker and more emotional. And then this is also cups. And you can see it's like the blue and the gray. So I think colors are very important. You can go through the deck and just feel the color. And then what I would do is every day, you don't even have to learn anything yet. Every day, I would just shuffle the deck, however you want to shuffle. I shuffle like this, shuffle a deck. I usually wait until one pops up, or you could just pick one, but I will ask, um, what is, what can I do to create abundance today? Or you can ask, what will happen to me today if you want? And then you can pick a card. And so we have 6 of Pentacles, right? So the gnome,
Hey, those are so beautiful.
6 of Pentacles. And what you do there is you can look at the card and you can ask, okay, so what are the colors? What are the feeling? What if there are animals or a person, what is their facial expression? And you can just write down, take notes on what is your intuitive message you're receiving. So obviously there's some coins, it's getting balanced maybe, right? And she's working balancing money. So maybe today, something about balancing resources or balancing money is coming up for me. And she does look really happy, this gnome. So
Shit.
going to be maybe there's gonna be good news. Maybe there's gonna be more money coming in, right? So one time I was I was working when I still had my job and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to go into work today. It's like a Sunday, no one's gonna be it's gonna be slow." So I pulled the card. I was like, "Okay, what happens if I go to work today?" And I got Ace of Cups, which is like abundance. It's good energy. And then I pulled another card. What happens if I don't go into work? And I think I got a card, not too sure what it was, and it wasn't that bad. So I was like, "Hey, I won't go into work today." What happened was when I didn't go, everyone started texting me because we get tips. I was a dealer at the casino, and they were like, "We made like $400 today." And I was like, "What?" Like, we never make $400. So that was the Ace of Cups. And I should
Sounds
have listened to
beautiful.
the card, right? And gone into work, but I didn't. And so you can write down at the end of the day or the next day what happened during the day. How did that relate to the card? Right. But after you look at the card, you can also, let's see if I have the guidebook. I took the guidebook out, but you can look in the guidebook because we wrote the guidebook for a reason. Right.
Yeah.
And so you can look in the guidebook and you can see what else jumps out at you and you can write little notes in there. So when you come back, you'd be like, whoa, this happened, this happened. And then now, whenever I pulled the Ace of Cards for someone, let's say Patty's asking me a question and I pulled the Ace of Cups, I'll be like, do it. Right? I'll be like, this is going to be really abundant for you. So now you have your personal experience attached to it.
I love that. That is a really great way to do it. Just a card a day and figure out what it means to you, and then keeping track of it.
Keeping track of it, yeah,
Keeping track
and
of it.
you'll see a pattern, you know, you'll see the wands bring you this or, you know, the swords always bring this up for you, yeah, so a lot of times, I think there are challenging energy cards, but we learn our lessons through challenge. A lot of times I do think that these challenges that come up is not as bad as if you were to get the description online or something, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right, I think that's beautiful. Oh, so maybe we should if you wanna pull a card for, like, everybody? I never really do that on this show, but it's the beginning of a new
Yeah.
wanna do a kind of a general some kind of a pull just for whoever's watching this, what we think this year is something to either focus on or
Yeah, so maybe let's pull what do we need to release to go into 2025 and what actions do we need to take in 2025 to reach our goals or, call in the abundance.
perfect.
About that. All right. So let's okay. What do we need
Thank
to
you for
release?
reading from Pamela Chen, yay!
Okay. So so we need to release 4 of swords. So to me, the sprite is just, kind of resting and not moving. She has the swords hanging over her. So the swords are all about, mindset, mental, right, and communications. So this tells me that maybe there is a belief or maybe there is something mentally that is keeping you stuck and not taking action, and so I think there's actually 4 for us because of the 4 swords. So I would make a list of what beliefs do not serve you, take note of what's coming up about your life. We say some, right? I am this, I am that, I
Yes.
am not good at this, or I am not able. And so I would write that down and I would clear it. I would clear it, energetically with the ritual, with the spell, however you want to clear it, any modality that you know.
I love
And
that.
so, yeah, and I think it's really powerful because your beliefs um, is what you perceive in the reality. And so that creates your reality. Okay, let's pull a card on what actions can we take to reach our goals for 2025 and to call in abundance. Oh, wow. Okay, I got the lover. So I think this to me is and this is the card I'm talking about, the, green fairy, he's supposed to be B from BTS. Anyway, um, so I think so for this, I do believe that there is some kind of connection deep connection, and it doesn't have to be love, but some kind of relationship, connection, or collaboration that is going to take you to your goal next year. So whatever it is, maybe you can explore. And I think it's not going to be a partnership you question. It doesn't have to be a long time partnership. It could be maybe for a project or for a specific time frame, but I do think whatever collaboration you say yes to is going to take you a little bit further than you think it will, and you're gonna know right away. It won't be like, "Oh, is he or she good for me?" I think you'll immediately know, and, it'll be an amazing, amazing partnership.
I love that, thank you. So everybody got it. You've got what let go of what's keeping us back and then look for that partner in whatever thing you're doing. I that is perfect. I'm taking that under advice too, because it is perception is everything. And I love that more and more people are actually seeing that. Whether you're watching it on Instagram or TikTok and they're all that positive thinking, but thank goodness it's there.
Yeah, I think so. And I think wealth and money, I mean, it took me a long time to also learn this. And I think that's why it's one of the things I'm really passionate about because I moved out at a very young age and I was very poor. And so I like dove deep into money manifestation, and I am really happier with money than with no money. And so I think everybody can do it no matter where you are because your past is just the past and it doesn't determine who you are in the future. And if you can make the right decisions, align decisions in the present, then you can create your future.
I agree wholeheartedly because your belief system, your perception is your truth. 100%. You said
Yeah.
that 100%. And people who sadly, I think our country, our Western that the almighty dollar, the struggle, the this, that doesn't have to be. That
It
just
doesn't, yeah. I do think though for myself and what I've seen through our clients is in the beginning, there might be some kind of struggle where we have to work a little bit harder, just to get that physical proof. I mean, I was working 4 jobs at once but you don't have to suffer, right? I didn't work jobs that I didn't like. If I didn't like it or if I wasn't making enough money, I got another job that was better.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't mean that I am a workaholic.
You are
I work hard, but it's that idea that it has to be that the struggle
right.
is what makes it. The
Right.
struggle is not what makes it. It doesn't mean you don't work hard. It's just or the people they just find a place of that they're too comfortable in the struggle that they're never gonna get out of it.
Yeah.
That's not the thing.
Yeah. I don't think there has to be a struggle. I do think you need to put some action to it, and it's going to call you to, make the move first. And then, once you feel really good getting out of that comfort zone, then your money can grow, your opportunities can grow. And I know and you never know where it's going to take you. I feel like your results are going to be bigger than what you think it is. It's going to be amazing.
Think big. 10-year plan.
Your plan, yeah. Go all out. Yeah, go all out.
Do you, like, do 10 years and then go, "By 9 year, I do this, by 8 year, I do this," or just the 10 year, the big thing, and see what
That is actually a beautiful, strategy to work on your goals. I don't go backward from 10 years because I feel like that's a lot. I do 1 year though. So in a year, I'll create the goal and then we'll work backwards. Okay, in 9 months, where am I supposed to be now to hit that 12 year? Okay, so I'm here. I've done this, right? So it's where you are, what you're doing, but what did it take for you to get there? What did you also have to do, right? And then I'll do a 6-month one. So 6 months. How did I get here where I am now? And what did it take for me to get here? And what did I commit to? Right. And then 3 months, and then I'll do a 1 month, and then I'll do a 1 week, and then, the day up. Usually that's the exercise.
it's g do you make a list every day or follow a list, whether written down or not, of your days to do?
I do like a list. Yeah, I'll have a list of to-dos. And also so basically for me, I just manifest money in business. So I have a money altar, I have a business altar, and there's a certain thing that I do. I think I can share this because I don't have any codes on here. But like we're launching a program right now. And so I make like, and I go really overboard. So I'm like, I want 300 people in the program, even though we get like 15. But it's okay. I feel okay with it. So it's up to you. Some people like to go, okay, 20 people. They like to be more exact. And so I'll make the boxes and I'll be like, hey, this much money. And then when they come in, I'll check off the boxes. I'll write our student's name on there. And so that's how I manifest. So I create like a physical container for our students to come in. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot, and I think and I actually make little boxes and too. I like checking and Xing and things like that. Now, is that part of the academy? We just had a thing. Is that part of your academy, or is that something different?
Yes. So right now we're launching the academy with Alex and Pam. And what happened is we just completely merged our business. So I had a business academy. She had a certification program. She channeled a really powerful modality called Awaken Bliss Code. It's like Reiki with the code, but I mean, we do feel like it's so potent. And we found that our clients were taking both. And, when they took the certification program, they discovered new magic, new spiritual gifts, and they realized their purpose, which is to become a coach or healer. And then they wanted to learn the business part. And then the people inside of the business program were like, wow, we loved all of the magic that you shared and using the codes to help us transform, right? They were like, let us take the certification program. And so now we kind of combined both, and it's like all inclusive university for spiritual entrepreneurs.
I love it. That is beautiful. Okay, you're gonna have a beautiful year. I can see it.
Oh,
I think I
thank
see
you.
it. Yeah, you are. So if anybody, before we go, I'm sure everybody's intrigued and falling in love with you just like I have. Where can people find you to get your books, to get your tarot decks, to take your classes, your workshop, to work with you one on one?
Yeah. So, everything you can find is on Instagram at Pamela Unicorn. I market every single I market every single day. I'm on it, and but we also have a lot of free stuff that we share. So every month, inside of our group, our private group, where you can find on our Instagram too, we do host like a free master class or event for our community. We feel that that's very important, and so you can, I'll post it on Instagram and you can really find me there. All the link is in my bio.
Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. Check her out. Follow her on Instagram, follow her everywhere else. Go to her academy, get her books, get her things. Delightful as always. You're a perfect person to start the new year off with, you guys. Wealth and abundance, happiness,
Patti, thank you.
fairies.
All the abundance to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pamela. See you soon.